everyone. Today we are going to be sending some love to the upper back, neck, shoulder space. A lot of us tend to hold our tension here in that upper body, neck, especially shoulders. So we're going to work a bit on kind of lengthening and loosening up those areas, as well as creating some structure, some strength around that space as well. I don't usually use a lot of props, but today I am going to definitely use one. I have a yoga strap, so mine's pretty long. If you don't have a yoga strap, that's fine. You can use a scarf, a long towel, really anything that can help you, maybe a belt, anything that can help you bring your arms out wide. And as we work into the neck and shoulder area, especially if you've had any shoulder injuries or surgeries, as always, be very aware, pay really good attention to the feedback your body's giving you. We never want to have any pinching or pulling kind of pain. Stretching is good, pain not. So go slow, as always, really listen to your body, and hopefully you'll be feeling much better at the end of the session. So this is a 30-minute session. We'll start with some relaxation, work through that neck and shoulder stuff, and with relaxation too. Okay, the other props I have here over by the sides are 2 blocks. I have the thicker blocks. You can have skinnier blocks too, doesn't really matter. We may or may not use these today. And I have a yoga bolster. This is really great to have, especially when we do a lot of restorative or resting poses. If you don't have a bolster, grab a pillow, grab a few blankets, stack them on top of each other, whatever works for you, whatever you've got, something that can give you some kind of support. So this isn't super squishy, it's pretty dense, pretty supportive. So we want to have some support there, not just kind of sinking down into whatever you've got. So sometimes blankets may be a little bit better than pillows, especially those pillows are kind of really squishy. So those are the things that I have for today. We may or may not use those, but we are definitely going to use the strap. So go ahead and grab something that you can use that's somewhat strap-like, and we'll get started. Let's start today, actually let's start on the mat. So we're going to come all the way down to the floor. You can do these same movements in a chair, just sitting upright. I'll show you the upper body movements, and you can just follow along if you prefer to be seated in a chair instead of coming down onto the floor. So you're going to come all the way down to your back. If you're in your chair, just sit comfortably, maybe lean back on the backrest so you can rest for a few breaths here. And as we settle in, let's take the arms out in front. So if you're in a chair, just reach them out in front. If you're on your back, reach them towards the ceiling. And circle the wrists. Go in one direction and then the other. And we'll get some movement into the hands and fingers. Squeeze them together and spread them out wide. Squeeze and spread, squeeze and spread, and then give them a little shake. Good, then just let them rest wherever it's comfortable. I'm going to rest my hands on the belly because it helps to give me some feedback about my breathing that I'm doing, but you can choose to bring your arms wherever you'd like. Good. So just start with a regular breath, just nothing, not pushing yourself to breathe deeper or anything like that, just a calm, gentle breath, whatever comes naturally to you. And as you start to take in those gentle breaths, maybe you bring some awareness to the muscles in the face, especially around the eyes and jaw, and see if you can soften those spaces a bit. So tension in the jaw can cause also tension in the neck and shoulders. So we're going to be talking about the jaw often today. I'll give you lots of reminders to see if you can soften that space. So if you're not even sure what that means to soften the jaw, just take notice of what's happening with the back teeth especially. If you notice they're kind of clenched together, then see if you can just create a little space between them. So just open the mouth just a tad. Maybe even allow the lips to part just a little bit. And that just helps to release that clenching that we sometimes do without even knowing, most of the time without even knowing. And maybe it feels appropriate for you to inhale a little deeper and exhale a little deeper. If that's the case, go for it. Otherwise, stay with your same steady breath. And then as you feel that relaxation move down the muscles in the face, let it slowly move down the neck and the shoulders. So see if you can kind of shift or move your shoulders around a little bit to make them feel just even 5% more relaxed. Let that relaxation move down the arms all the way to the hands. So even sometimes our hands tend to clench up into fists or just tighten up. See if you can let them soften and just kind of gently rest open. And then allowing that relaxation to flow down the rest of the body, chest, belly, all the muscles in the back, down through the hips and legs, all the way down to the feet. Two more breaths here. Good. Keep your breath at your steady pace, so whatever that means for you today. And just begin to bring the knees into the chest. If you're in your chair, you can take a little lean forward and maybe rock the knees a bit side to side, just kind of getting a bit of a stretch into that back. Good. And then bring the feet back down. We're going to bring the arms by the sides. And on the inhale, gently lift the arms up towards the ceiling and take them up overhead as far as the shoulders allow. So they definitely don't have to come in line with the shoulders, but that's up to you. And then exhale, bring the arms all the way back down. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, lift it up and overhead. Do that little stretch there at the end. And then exhale, bring the arms back by the sides. Good. Keep that going with your breath. Just connecting those two together. Two more rounds. When you finish this round, let those arms rest down again by the sides. Okay, so now we're going to roll onto one side. Doesn't matter which side, you're going to roll all the way over. So all the way over to one side. If you're seated in a chair, just stay right where you are. Now, some of you might want to bring something underneath the head. So if the head doesn't rest comfortably down to the mat, you can grab one of those blocks or your bolster, a pillow, a towel, whatever it is. And adding that little bit of support underneath the head will also allow the neck to stay in alignment. So whatever side you choose to be on, you're going to bring arms straight out in front of the shoulders, kind of with the palms together, okay? And then on your inhale, you're going to lift that top arm up towards the ceiling, like you're pointing up towards the ceiling, and then reach it back behind you. So you can take it out as far as you'd like, as far as the shoulder allows, and then you're going to bring it all the way back up towards the ceiling, and then palms again to meet. So we're going to do that a few more times. Inhale, open it up, and send it back, and then bring it back to that starting position. Good. The eyes can follow the hand if that feels good for the neck, or just keep the neck resting on that block or wherever it is. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. Open it up and bring it back together. 1 more time. And back together. Good. You're going to slowly switch sides. I'm going to sit up and switch sides so I'm not facing the wall. I continue to face you, but if you can just roll right over. So opposite side down onto the mat. Setup is the same. Add that support underneath the head if you'd like, palms touching. Arms about shoulder height. Knees are bent. And when you're ready, you're going to take that top arm up and back. And then bring it back to your starting position. A few more times, just like that. Good. So I've got a wall here behind me, so I can't take the arm out as far out as maybe my shoulder would like to go. So I'm just going to bend my elbow a little bit. But you can keep that arm as straight as you like. Or maybe bending the elbow feels nice. Give it a try. Good. 3 more times to go. And last round. Wonderful. Bring it all back to center. From here, you're going to gently press up to seated. So take your time. You're in a chair, you're already there. Coming to a comfortable seated position, and that might look like me, it might not. I'm going to actually use my bolster here to sit on. It gives me a little bit more support and feels more comfortable on my knees and hips. Okay, so let's start some more movement with that neck and shoulder space. Roll the shoulders up and back. This is a good way to get some movement, especially in that trapezius area, so that spot kind of right there at the top of the shoulders as we move towards the neck. Good, let's do it the other direction, so bring the shoulders up and forward. Good. A couple more times. One more. Good, then bring it up to the ears. Give maybe a little squeeze and then let them drop. Great. A few more. Up to squeeze and then let it drop. 2 more. Up and drop. Again. Good. So from here, I'm going to get just some different movement in for the shoulders. Bring the arms up to the sides, elbows bent. You're going to take the arms up and over, kind of like you're diving forward. And then you're going to slide those elbows back in by the waist and start again where we began, so palms out. So you take those arms up and over, kind of dive, rounding that mid-upper back space. Bring the elbows back in towards the rib cage, hands come out to the side. Okay, let's try that a few more times. Up and over and to the side. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see what that looks like. Take it up and over and bring it back to start. One more time. Up and over and bring it back to start. Okay. Bring the fingertips down by the sides. Again, I'm just going to stay sideways so you can see what's happening with my shoulder, neck, chest space. Bring the fingertips to the sides. Feel the fingertips press down and the chest lift up. So we've got a little bit of a lift up through the center of the chest. Maybe I take a slight look up. You can walk the fingertips back even farther, so opening up a little bit more, especially through this space. Good, take one more breath here. And then release. Roll those shoulders around a little bit. Let's try it again. Fingertips to the side, walk it back a little bit. Or if you have your strap handy, you can take the strap in either hand so the arms are kind of reaching back, pulling back, getting a little bit more stretch through that front of the chest and shoulder. One more breath. Good, exhale, release that. Now we're going to come back to center. Arms can just rest on the legs. You're going to bring the chin to the chest. Start with some slow movement side to side. So as I take my head side to side, I like to draw kind of little circles with the chin. This just helps to get into all those tiny little muscles around the neck and the shoulders. But explore this movement however you like. It's good to add a little extra movement so we can get into those tiny little areas. But as always, move slowly and observe. Let's take it one more time each side. And then bring it back to center. Head rises all the way up. Shoulders again, come back and down. Wonderful. All right, we're gonna add a little bit more onto those neck stretches. Always feel free to change the shape of your legs or change how you're sitting at any point in time. Again, most of our focus is gonna be on the upper body here, so just do whatever works for the lower body. Take the chin down and bring the head over to the right. You're gonna use your right hand to massage the left shoulder and neck area. So I like to kind of dig in a little bit, especially to those parts that feel a little more tight. Mine's kind of like right in the center there. But even take that squeeze down to the upper arm, right? And maybe slide it up right to where the base of the skull meets the neck. You can even do a soft little pound there. That can feel good. Just one more breath or two, massaging that side. Good. So release that side, bring it to center, and then all the way to the left. We're gonna try it on the other side. So now you're gonna use your left hand to massage your right side. Again, you move that hand around. So squeeze, maybe a little gentle little pound to help those muscles release. Squeeze through the upper arm. You can even rub a little bit on the front of that chest, or right where the pectoral muscles or the chest muscles come together. Slide the hand up towards the neck, at the base of the skull. Good. And then bring it back to center all the way up. So as I was saying earlier, the tension in the jaw can lead to tension in neck and shoulders. So we're just going to do a little face massage. It helps to relax the muscles in the face and just kind of let that relaxation start to wash down through the body. So let's start with just the fingertips to the forehead, kind of right above the eyebrows, and just tiny little taps, tiny little taps. Yep. And then we're going to keep that tap going and bring it down over the temples, near the sides of the eyes. Keep that little tap going. We're going to go right to the cheekbones. Good. And then we're going to take that tap down sides of the jaw and to the chin. Good. Tiny little taps, tiny little taps. Go back up to the cheekbones, temples, forehead. Good. Now you're going to take your hands to your ears. You've got earrings on. Don't squeeze them. So you can bring the hands up a little bit farther up so they're not right on the earlobes. But you're just going to hold onto the ear and pull down. So hold and then just gently pull, kind of like a little gentle tug. So again, that helps to release tension. Any kind of rubbing through the ears or a gentle pull on the ears. That can be really useful if you tend to get tension headaches. You can give that a little bit of a try to see if you can relieve some of that discomfort. So one more time. Good. And then release those ears. Great. We're going to use one breath one type of breath to help relieve tension in the jaw. We do a lot of breathing in and out through the nose in yoga, but we have a really great breath through the mouth. It's called a ha breath, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's just a big sigh. This helps to soften that space right here around the jaw. So on your inhale, breathe in through your nose, and then as you exhale, let it out through your mouth. Good, just like that. So we're gonna do that a couple more times. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. And I encourage you to open your mouth as wide as you can. No one's gonna see you. You're only seeing me, I can't see you. No one else can see you. So inhale again, nice big breath in through the nose. And then out through the mouth. Good. We're gonna do one more time, and this time, if you want, try to stick the tongue out. So that's kind of like a lion's breath. We do that sometimes in yoga as well. I'm not gonna do all the rest of the lion's breath. We're just gonna do the tongue and mouth part. So as you stick that tongue out, again, it helps to release tension here. One more breath. Inhale through the nose, and then stick the tongue out if you'd like. Good. It might seem silly, but it's really great. If you tend to deal with things like TMJ, that lion's breath is a great way to relieve some of that tension, discomfort that you have going on up there. Okay, so let's change up our movement a little bit. Let's move to a tabletop shape, hands and knees. So if you're using a chair, you can come to stand and then put your hands on the seat of the chair. So we're still making a similar shape with the body. If you're on your knees and you want some more padding, grab a blanket, something underneath those knees. Okay. On the inhale, tilt the pelvis a little bit, lengthen through this front of the body and slide the shoulders back towards the hips. So I'm kind of creating that little bit of a dip, but with support in my belly. Exhale, round the spine. Press into the hands. As you press into the hands, it really opens up through that upper back. So let's do that again. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, press, and round. Good. 2 more just like that. Inhale, and exhale. Again, and exhale. Great. Take the left arm, bring it up towards the ceiling, and you're going to sweep it down and under the right. So you might come down to your forearm and just hang out here. Let the head be heavy. If it's accessible, maybe you slide that left arm through and come into a little bit more of a twist for sure. Feeling a stretch around the left shoulder. 2 more breaths. Good. And then bring it back to center, back to that table. Maybe move things around a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So now right arm lifts up, sweep it down and through. Stop at that elbow or the forearm. Few more breaths. And bring it back to center. Great. From here, we're going to come to stand. However it works for you, come all the way up. Take your time. Once you get to that standing position, shake those arms out, shake the legs out, and let's grab the strap. So strap, belt, towel, scarf, really long sock, whatever you've got. Feet are going to be about hip distance, maybe a little bit wider, just kind of creating that nice stable base. So again, as I mentioned before, shoulder issues, injuries, surgeries, be really careful with this one because we're going to make a big movement and go really, really slow. Arms are going to start super wide and then you can change it up if you want. If you just kind of know your shoulders and you know that this movement, maybe you don't have as much availability there, just drop the strap, give it a try without it first, and then you can add the strap in if you want. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Hands are really, really wide. I have a nice stable base. My knees are slightly bent. On the inhale, I'm going to lift my arms up, and I'm going to take them back behind me. So this might be the point where I want to take my hands even wider on my strap and bring it down behind. Good. That might also be the point in time where you realize, oh, this shape is not for me. So then you release the strap and just move those arms in the same shape. We're going to do that a few more times. Inhale, lifting those arms up and back. Yeah. Good. So what this does here is it helps with mobility and range of motion in the shoulders. It helps with flexibility in the chest, especially like in the very, very front of the chest, which is a really important area to focus on when we talk about neck and shoulder tension, because what happens a lot is as gravity kind of works against us a little bit here, our shoulders start to round forward, right? We've got that little rounding that can happen. And when we take this shape, especially this up and back shape, we're doing the opposite of that rounding forward. So we're just kind of reminding our shoulders that they don't have to be in that shape every time and that we can start to lengthen those muscles. Good. Last time around, take it all the way up. Good. And then release the strap. We're done with that for now. Okay. Again, shoulders rolling back, give everything a nice little shake. Sometimes it feels good just to shake it out. It helps with that tension relief, bringing in relaxation. So this time you're going to need a wall. You can use a door, a wall, whatever. If you don't have enough space to bring your arm out to the side, you can always bend the elbow if you don't have a ton of wall space wherever you are. So you're going to go right up against the wall, belly to the wall as close as you can. And you're gonna take your arm out to the side. So I'm gonna start with my right arm. Take your right arm out to the side, hand is about eye level. So it's not down here, and it's not way up here. If I look over towards my hand, it's about eye level, okay? Now I'm gonna start to turn to the left. So I'm just gonna start turning my torso first, and I'm gonna start to feel that stretch there on the front of the shoulder, on that right shoulder. If I wanna keep going, I can turn my toes, turn my feet to the left, and I can get a deeper stretch. Good. Sometimes this left shoulder likes to ride up and get involved. See if you can keep it nice and soft. This is another great, great, great stretch that doesn't require a mat, only requires a wall to help work against that rounding forward. So especially if you do a lot of driving or sitting, like working at a desk, this is great, great, great option for you. All right, let's turn it back to the wall. And then we're gonna switch arms. So take that opposite arm out to the side. Again, eye level. So not too low, not too high, right about eye level. So a little bit higher than the shoulder. And then start to turn towards the right. Head, chest first. Give that a feel. Let that right shoulder drop down. And then if you want to keep going, turn those toes, move deeper into your stretch. See if you can soften around the jaw, neck area. Nothing is really doing a lot of work here. We're mostly just using that wall as pressure to find your stretch. Three more full breaths. Good. Slowly unwind, turn it back towards the wall, and release that arm down. Nice. You can turn away from the wall now, so back again to face me. Let's shake it out again. Wrists, arms, shoulders. Okay. And then nice stable base. We're gonna do one more arm stretch here and then go down for relaxation. Arms reached out to the side. You're gonna take your right arm on top and give yourself a nice big hug. I'm gonna give you lots of different options, so always choose the one that works for you, okay? Nice big hug, option number one. Option number two, you can hug that arm in closer to you, the left arm, so hand kind of comes towards the face, as you can see, and that right arm is reaching out to the side. So I'm getting a deeper stretch here around right shoulder. If that seems accessible to you and you want to maybe hook your fingers together or bring the palms together, you can do that too. We're gonna take about 3 more breaths here. So we're still keeping those shoulders down away from the ears. Jaw is soft, neck is soft. Stable base in the legs. And then release the arms. Give them a good shake, wave them around a little bit. And let's try the other side. So arms out, left arm on top, nice big hug. Good. Same options here, but you might make a different choice. Especially if you've had some injury or surgery on this side might need something different. So you can take the arm out to the side. Good, you can hook the fingers. You can bring the palms towards each other. Full breaths. Let it go. Soften the jaw again, maybe you part those lips a little bit. Using some ha breath. 2 more rounds. And release. Good. Give those arms a nice little shake. Okay, we're gonna come down to the floor now, and I'm gonna actually use my bolster here. If you want, you can use towels or blankets. And I also like to have a little bit of an extra lift underneath my head. So I'm gonna take one of my blocks and bring it underneath this top part, so it's kind of on an angle. But as always, as we move into relaxation, it's all about finding a shape that is most comfortable for you today. So maybe you wanna try this shape out, maybe you wanna lay on your back flat, maybe you wanna lay on your side, Maybe being seated is more comfortable. This is just a suggestion. It's just something to try if you want. But most importantly, find the shape that is most comfortable for you. So find your way there, whatever it is. These first few breaths are always about adjusting and settling in. So if this shape doesn't quite feel right, change it up. Find the space that works right for you. And then just start to settle. Feel the softening again around the forehead, eyes, temples, jaw. The relaxation flows down the neck, to the shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, and fingers. Feeling that relaxation beginning now at the top of the head. And this time it's going to flow backwards over the skull, back of the neck, sliding out again around the shoulders, to the upper back, and wrapping around to the chest, feeling that relaxation, feeling that softening with each breath. Relaxation begins again at the top of the head. It flows over the back of the head, down the neck, down the spine, and spreads outward along the muscles in the back. Wrapping around to the sides, through the belly, the hips, the low belly. Again, that relaxation begins at the top of the head, flows down, back over the back of the head, the neck, all the way down to the spine, to the tailbone. And then from there it flows outward through the glutes, legs, knees, lower legs, ankles, feet, and toes. Finally, that breath begins again one more time at the top of the head with the relaxation and flows downward over the back of the head, the neck. And as it flows down the spine, it also spreads outward, finding every single muscle, every single bone, every single joint, creating softness, a release, renewal, all the way down the body. Stay here as long as you'd like.